Oh, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I say that in the singular because that's probably only who's going to watch this. Come on, YouTube, show me some plurals. Anyway, Sauce back. First dive of 2022. In January, you might be thinking it's freaking cold, and you're right, but I was down in sunny Miami, Florida. And it was pretty warm. The water was pretty warm, just a little chilly. I'll get into that later. But this is it. First dive for me. First couple of dives for me in this new year, 2022. Man, I remember 2000 was a big deal. I used to have a ball cap hat with a digital LCD display that had a countdown to the new millennium. And man, that seems like 3 lifetimes ago by now. But anyway, what you're looking at now is the first dive of 2 that I did in Miami. Not very eventful, so to speak. They're fun, of course. I haven't been in the water since October of 2021, so I was antsy to get in there. I was here for a bachelor party. And none of those guys are divers. I tried to convince them to come out on the boat. They said no. And I said, okay, I understand. But they went to South Beach. I went diving. I am a little jealous of missing South Beach. But, I can't go to Florida and not dive. So here we are. You're staring at my dive profile now. What I mean by uneventful was we didn't go that deep. Yeah, we just kind of swam around both locations for a little bit. The second one was probably a little more interesting in my opinion, but we'll get into that. This first one, it's called Neptune's, hold on, I got the page pulled up. Let me look. Neptune Memorial Reef. And you can Google that. I'm not going to put a screenshot up of where it is, although I'm kind of tempted now. You know what? I'm here. Maybe I'll flash this up on the screen. Okay. Yeah, I can dig into the paint, make that happen later. But yeah, it's basically right off the coast of Miami. Few miles. I don't know. We didn't go that far out. We could see downtown the entire time. Not like Charleston. Last time I went out open water in Charleston, we just kept driving until I couldn't see the land, and that was a little disconcerting, but here we are, Neptune Memorial Reef. So this is actually a graveyard. Kind of morbid, but so people who love the sea, and I assume have some money, they die and they get cremated and they request that their ashes be buried out here at sea. And so the whole thing is memorial plaques of people who have been interred, whatever the name for that is, out in sea. And so it was kind of interesting, swimming around. I don't know when construction on this started, but I did learn construction on this is not even close to being done. The people at the dive shop said that I guess they've bought or have reserved a lot of extra space around what we saw, and so this is only going to expand in the future. But as you can tell, once we get into the dives, it's been there a while. There's a lot of corrosion. There's a couple of lions guarding the entrance that you can't even barely recognize anymore. But I'm looking at their reviews on Google Maps right now. 5 stars, 5.0 out of 12 reviews. That's pretty good. You might expect a 4.9, 4.8, but 5.0. This is a 5-star diving site. Remember that next time you're in Miami. So I highly recommend it. I saw some cool fish. I saw a couple of fish I've never seen before. I still have no idea what they are. We'll get into that. But I've been rambling on. This is the dive profile, as you can see in front of you. Not that exciting. Didn't go that deep. Just kind of went down, swam around for, 48 minutes is what my computer says. And then we surfaced, popped back on the boat, and went to the next site. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into the footage. And here we are on the first dive. That's my buddy on the left, and something growing on the right there. So this is Neptune Reef. As you can see, it's a bunch of man-made structures that serve as a graveyard, apparently. Got some columns here. I do not know when this was first built. Clearly it's been here for a little while. The fish just eat this stuff up, and the coral, and whatever else is growing on this concrete. Yeah, we definitely saw some fish. I am going to, I'm saying this ahead of time, I want to try to experiment with some color correction. I did that once in one video. I stopped doing that because I didn't want to edit the video. Hold on, we'll get back to that. Look at this grappling hook. What is that? I was scared to death when I saw that thing. It was coming down at me. I don't know what was going on with that. I think it might have been a class, but I have no idea what class that was part of. It's not a class I've ever taken. Looks like it's trying to be an anchor, but it's not heavy enough. But we'll get into the color correction in the next segment. And we're back. Not entirely sure what we're looking at here. That might be a lion base. Clearly did not tilt my head up high enough to take a look. I'm pretty sure that was one of the lions I was talking about in the last segment. But forget the lion. We're going over here to this box. But about the color correction, we're at a weird depth for colors. So we're at about, well, right now, all the way at the bottom is about 40 feet. So we're probably at 35, 30 feet right now. And at least when you're live looking at it, the colors look decent. But in this video, looking back, they actually look very green. There's a green hue, and I'm kind of surprised because the open ocean is usually a blue hue. Usually you get green like in inland lakes, and you get blue in the ocean. And in fact, spoiler alert, I've already looked at some of these videos, and the GoPro just kind of starts freaking out. There's a point where, it does, I think it's white balancing is the setting, or the attribute that kind of determines how things look. And that's set on auto, because, I don't know anything about picture or video quality. I assume the engineers at GoPro know better than me. So I set it on auto, but as you'll see, it kind of changes between green and blue in some of these videos, and so I want to experiment with color correction. There's a few ways you can do that. Some people just put a filter over the lens of the camera. I've read online that's not a good idea because that filter only lets in that color light. At least right now, my lens is unfiltered, so all the light that's available, I'm getting. And then I can go back and soften later and kind of change what I want to see and what not, supposedly. But you can tell the colors are kind of muted. When you're live, it doesn't look this bad. And that's what I mean. You're kind of in no man's land. Like, in Cozumel, when we go down 100 plus feet, I mean, you can tell. You got no color whatsoever. It is... what do you lose first? You lose red first. Everything is blue. And then you turn on your light, and it's like, bam! Colors in your face. When you're 30, 40 feet deep, you don't really notice that until you watch the video. And I can tell my camera's tilted down because I was definitely looking at those angelfish. But with my light on right now, you can see the colors are starting to pop. And I'm not sure how color correction works with the light, so I'm going to have to do some experimenting. And we're back with no light. It's looking awfully green to me right now. Hopefully if I can do some correction, I can fix that up a little bit. But we're just kind of cruising around right now. See, in my eyeballs it looked better than this, so down there I'm like, I don't really need the light that much. And it's so bright. That's why I say you're in no man's land, because it's bright enough down 30, 40 feet where you feel like you can see pretty well. You can see the colors well. You turn on your light like I just did, and you don't see much. I see more difference in the camera than I remember seeing in real life. I need to remember that next time I'm down there, because yeah, I suppose the white balance in my eyeballs versus the white balance in my GoPro is not the same. Not the same. This looks very green to me, which it should be blue. And I distinctly remember watching a video where it changed from like green to blue right before my eyes. It's like, wow, GoPro, you gotta make up your mind. But you know, it's gotta be tough. So here we are over some grave sites, I assume. We got fake sand dollars, I think, and definitely fake starfish. And the fish just swimming around like, yeah, whatever. This is cool. We like concrete. That's my buddy Matt. Yeah, I haven't talked about Matt yet. Matt was cool. Cool as shit. He was a cool dude. Matt from Pittsburgh. I hope he doesn't get upset with me saying that. Yeah, it's just, you know, you sign up. Oh, barracuda. Look at those cuda. That's probably at least 3 feet on the right there, huh? That's pretty solid barracuda. I'll sing some more of Matt's praises next video. Yeah, look at those cuda. Well, they're gone now. Those things are vicious. They got some teeth. And here we are looking at some tombstones. Can't quite read them from here. I could pause and take a look, but I'm not going to do that. Thomas Schausenau. Okay, Thomas. Thomas wanted to be buried at Neptune Reef. He got his wish. Yeah, but Matt was a cool-ass dude, man. It was, you know, you sign up for these dive trips when you're traveling, and it's like, you can buy a guide for like, oh, I'm okay. You can buy a guide for like $200 or something, and you know, hats off to the dive shops. I love them, but I'm not really interested in giving you $200 more. So you just sign up for the dive, and you're like, yeah, you'll meet up with somebody, and so you're looking for other free agents. And Matt was one of those dudes, so me and Matt got paired together, and yeah, he was great. He was great. He was actually less experienced than me. This was dive about 25 for him. This is about dive 85 for me. But man, I was impressed. I'll tell you this. He was better at 25 than I was at 25. And hell, he might still be better than me. He was very calm in the water. I get to a point still, and I'm still trying to figure this out with my trim, but it's like, oh, hold on. Look at that blue fishy. That fish is beautiful. We saw another one of those. If you go back to the first segment, one of those, it was the same shape, except he was like white and yellow. They gotta be the same species. So yeah, or maybe not, I don't know, but their body type and shape looks exactly the same, so I feel like they have to be very closely related. That one was blue and black. The one in the first segment was like white and yellow. Just endless diversification down here. Endless. I love it. I'm freaking up. I love it. I love diving. I love it. There's Matt. Look at that thing. What is that? This is a short segment. I became enamored with this fish. I think I lost Matt for a couple of moments. It kind of looks like a gar. I don't know. You tell me. What kind of fish is that? Yeah, I think I was talking about my trim before I interrupted myself. There's Matt. What's up, Matt? Yeah, so when I did my, what was it, search and recovery dives back in October, if you guys watch those videos, I always feel like I'm leg heavy when I'm diving. If I just sit there in the water and don't move, my legs start to sink, my torso goes up. And so for the the search and recovery dives, I was like, you know what? I put heavier weights in my trim pouches and lighter weights in my regular BCD pouches. Normally it's the opposite, but I did that, and my trim is how you balance in the water in diving context. Anyway, so if you just let go. Just don't move a muscle. If you just go underwater, let go. You kind of get a sense of how your trim is. Now I've always been leg heavy, so my legs would sink, my torso would turn up, I started to turn up in the water. But man, when I put the heavier weights in my trim pouches on my BCD back for the search and recovery dives, I was damn near flat, and it was just like, whoa! It was like a light bulb went off, you know? This was something brand new to me. But, having said that, this was kind of a brand new environment for me. So this was semi-warm water, salt water, pretty much the first time I experienced this. I have gone diving off the coast of Charleston, off the coast of Charleston. Same kind of environment, but in those instances, I rented a wetsuit, a shorty. In this case, I kind of brought my own. So I don't own a shorty. I was kind of in between thermal clothing for this dive. I had a 7mm wetsuit, which is overkill for what I had. It would make me very buoyant. And I had basically a long sleeve t-shirt that I had never worn in the water, so I didn't know what to expect from it. But it provided some thermal protection. Hemmed and hawed for a while. Decided to go for the long sleeve sweatshirt. And it worked out great for this dive. I was a little chilly in the next dive. I'll talk about that in the next dive. But for this one, it was great. But everybody else is wearing like a 3mm wetsuit, and I would have been absolutely comfortable in that. Man, you feel like you got all the time in the world to talk, and then the last 5 seconds of the video comes and you start tearing whatever hair you have left out. Yeah, but I wore basically this very light thermal protection for this dive and the next one. And I just thought 7mm wetsuits are thick and stiff and a pain in the ass to take on and off. And hold on, yeah, what are we looking at? Look at this. What is this grappling hook doing? What are they doing? I have no idea what they're doing. My camera, yeah, we're looking at sand. If you look at the top frame, my camera is tilted down too far. You'd think after 85 dives I'd figure out where to position my camera. I have no idea what they're doing with that grappling hook. Looks like they're just pulling it up and down like 2 feet at a time on the side of this piroga. Whatever this is, I don't even know. Hey, yellowfish, look at all the... Hey, yellowfish. No clue what they're doing with that grappling hook. I can't even think about what certification that may be for. Like, you need a grappling hook to, like, you know, throw up to your tree house when the ladder breaks and climb up there. And that's where you keep all your secrets. I mean, like, what are they doing with the grappling hook? There's Matt. Matt below. Yeah, Matt was great. I said that already, but in case you're watching, Matt, you were fantastic. I love diving with you. When you come to the Midwest, Matt, look me up. You got my number. You got my email address. And when I go to the Northeast, I'm definitely going to hit you up. Yeah, here's a plaque. I guess somebody who died here a long time ago. I tried brushing this off. And I think I cut my finger a little bit, and we were in the open ocean, I said, hell nah, I don't want sharks coming to bite my hand off. I'm kidding, I'm not scared of sharks, but I still don't want to be leaking blood into the water. So I moved on from that. And, there's some fishies. Yeah. Here we are back with some ocean-encrusted columns. Yeah, I don't know what part of the reef we're in now. Basically, it ran north to south. So you probably saw me checking my compass in some of the earlier segments. That's all I was looking at. I am a terrible underwater navigator. Although, I have to say, in the next dive, I did a pretty good freaking job, if I do say so myself. Basically, the boat planted us at a corner of the reef and said, go west, go north, go east, go south, you end up back in the boat. That sounds simple on the surface, but trust me, when you're underwater and you got like 30-foot viz and you're trying to follow this compass, it gets a little difficult. But I followed the directions, and I still could not quite see the boat when it was time to leave. So I had to pop up at the surface, but we were pretty darn close. We were pretty darn close to it. So I was actually pretty excited about that, because that's probably the best underwater nav I've ever done. Anyway, that's in the future. Back to this dive. Yeah, I don't think we've seen anything particularly interesting yet. Oh, there's I guess Paul Bunyan was a scuba diver. He dove down here with his axe and cut this tree down. The tree behind the column here. Oh, look at those fish. We got a couple more of these gar-looking fish. I've never seen these before. I mentioned that in the previous segment. And now we got one swimming around the other. Maybe this is some kind of mating ritual. I don't know. But these were beautiful fish. Look at that. He kind of flared up a little bit there. Yeah, I don't know what they were doing. I became enamored with them, and I lost Matt. And then I took the camera off my head, I guess. This is what it looks like. Or put it back on. That's what I put the camera back on my head. So there's Paul Bunyan's stump. Yeah, when I'm diving, I'm a big proponent of hands-free. Hands-free is kind of my thing. You can see the light on my left hand there. It's just out of frame. Hey, there's Matt. What's up, Matt? Look at him. He's so calm. He was way better than me, and we are 29 feet deep, 30 feet deep, 30 feet deep. There it is. I just saw it change. And on the left there, it said 47. I got 47 minutes of dive time left. What was I talking about? I can't remember now. Those garfish? Yeah, I never saw them. Oh, I got freaked out here. I saw this hose hanging loose. I was like, whoa, dude, you gotta fix that. And he was like, nah, it's cool. I got my BCDs connected. It's cool. That's just my dry suit air inflator hose. That's my dry suit hose. So I was like, oh, gotcha. Yeah, you don't need a dry suit down here. You don't need a dry suit. I mean, if you want, unless you want one. Some people wear dry suits in the tropics. Not sure I call this tropics, but yeah, some people just like getting out of the water and not being wet. And hey, I can respect that. I've never worn a dry suit in warm weather. I save that for cold mother, St. Louis cold water. But yeah, some people do wear dry suits even in warm water. And what are we looking at here, except for a school of fish? Yeah, this must be more graves. You see these sections, these squares? Oh, look at that fish. No, yeah, okay. That fish. I don't know what that is. I think that might be a scorpion fish. I wish Nina was here to verify that. So Nina is mine and my cousin's dive guide in Cozumel, Mexico. She's pointed out a few scorpion fish, and I think that might be a scorpion fish. And yeah, we gotta get some Yano on the frame. What's up, y'all? Hang loose. All right, back to diving. Yeah, I think that might be a scorpion fish. Not 100% sure. Matt wants to know my air pressure. I said you first. He's got one. I can't. My freaking camera is too far down. I can't. Should have figured this out by now. I should know where to position my camera. Got tilted up. I got tilted up more than feels natural. That's the key. And I haven't dove since October, so next time, YouTube, I'll get it right. I'll get it right next time. All right, next segment. I peeked ahead a little bit. We're about to see a spiny creature, and I can already tell my stupid camera is pointed too far south. Gosh darn. See, look at him. He's got the GoPro on the floaty stick. I actually have that exact same floaty stick. I wore it underwater once for a dive. It didn't make sense. I didn't want to take the floaty stick underwater because I didn't want the camera floating the surface. But that would be great. So if you ever lose grip on it, you could see his was tethered. But if you ever lose it, it still floats the surface. But yeah, I'm trying to look. My eyeballs are looking at the spiny thing. You can see it right in the north part of the frame. And I do look up here in a second. Yeah, there you go. That's what I was looking at. What is that thing? That's like a sea urchin with the longest spines I've ever seen. I don't know. And the rest of this video is going to be ad-lib because I haven't looked at it. It's getting late. And previewing the videos is starting to become more trouble than it's worth. And, oh, that was on Paul Bunyan's stump. All right. Super spiny urchin was on Paul Bunyan's stump. What's up, Matt? That would have been a good picture. I should have turned the video off taking a picture, though. All right, that's cool. That's cool. I'm going to send him a few pictures. Don't worry. I got him. I got him. His mom is going to be so proud. So proud. Man, where are we going? I've been looking at the colors. The colors, by colors I mean white balance. I feel like the white balance has been very green. That's weird for the open ocean. The open ocean should be blue. I feel like all my videos in Cozumel are, I'll have to look back, but I feel like they're all blue. This one's green. I don't know if I'm going to mess with the white balance too much. I just, might be more trouble than it's worth. I don't know. You know, I'm not a professional here, obviously. I dive for fun. I got a GoPro. I feel like you guys might want to see, you know, what I'm doing here. But I'm not trying to win a freaking Oscar, you know, so. I don't know. That looks a little tinted green. It's going to take me, you know, 4 or 5 hours to figure out how to fix the green. I'm not sure that it's worth it. But, here we go. It's, look at those striped fishies. Hey, fishies! I turn my light on. That's the other thing. I am kind of curious to see how if I do color correction, how it's going to work with the spotlight of parts that don't need color correction. Because this whole thing does, but when I shine my light on something, it doesn't. And like I said, we're in no man's land for that, because in my eyeballs are like, when I turn my light on, I don't see that big of a difference. I don't see hardly any difference at all. I see more of a difference in the video. So my camera needs that light more than my eyeballs do. Yeah, it's interesting. I will experiment with color correction. Hey, angelfish. I love angelfish, especially that variety. It's just beautiful. I love the black and the gray and the white. So pretty. Hey, buddy. Alright, on to the next segment. Short segment here, not much to say. I was going to say, just enjoy the footage. I'm not going to say a word. But, I peaked. So, normally, when you're talking to your buddy, you tell him how much air you have left. But since these dives were so shallow, we're basically on a time limit rather than an air limit. So I'm trying to tell him right now we got 20 minutes left. He thinks I'm asking for air. I think I finally conveyed the message to him. 20 minutes left. He said, okay. Roger that. 10-4. Copy. I was watching these beforehand to get a sense of what was coming, but it's getting late. I kind of want to knock this out. At least this dive. So, yeah, we just on the fly now, baby. Look at me looking at my compass. We're going kind of north. Yeah, I believe I said in an earlier segment, this graveyard, memorial, whatever you want to call it, is laid out kind of north to south. I think. I'm trying to remember. I believe it was north to south. My buddy Matt, he did not have a compass, so it was up to me to do the navigating. And pretty much, mostly what we were doing was swimming around, not really looking. But I do believe the boat was parked to the north of the site. And if you saw my last segment, we were 20 minutes to go, so at this point we're probably, I don't know, 15, 10. I'm just trying to get where our bearings are, where we need to go to get back to the boat without pissing off the boat captain. No, that says south. Alright. Maybe you can forget everything I just said. At the time, it made sense. In this video now, yeah, I've forgotten a lot of details. The whole time, honestly, I was looking at the sand, hoping to find a stingray buried in the sand. Did not see it. It doesn't mean they're not there, it just means that I did not see one. So yeah, I think at this point we got like between 15 and 20 minutes to go, and I'm like, that's enough time to figure out where we're going, but not enough time to leave, so I'm gonna whip out my light, and you guys could see the different colors there. That versus, this. It's like night and day. This is very green, which is weird in the ocean. But you saw what colors my light brought out. Yeah, I'm going to have to experiment with some color correction, which is tough on my computer. I want to say a bad word there, and I was like, my grandmother might be watching this, so. My computer is slow. I got no GPU. Look at those colors pop under the light. Those colors pop. But if I color correct the rest of the video, I don't know what those popping colors are going to look like. And it's not something I can find out really quick because I have to render video and it takes a long time on my computer, and I just don't know how much effort I want to put into this, considering that if I'm lucky, lady and gentleman will be watching this. Maybe more. It's like that Allstate commercial. Tens and tens of people are going to watch this. Or, no, sorry, he says, this is going to get tens and tens of views. I'm just hoping for tens and tens of views, yeah, I don't know. No stingrays down there. Do you guys see stingrays? I see no stingrays. We're back. We're getting the commentary. What are we looking at here? I don't know. Oh, shoot. See, I'm looking, my eyeballs are not matching what my camera is pointing at. That's a real bummer. That's upsetting because you think I'd be good enough. But it's bleached out. Oh, okay. Yeah, I gotta switch. If I'm in spotlight mode, I do remember that from past dives. If I'm in spotlight mode, it's probably gonna be washed out with the camera. So I switched to floodlight mode, and he still couldn't read any of those because my camera is pointed too far down. Yeah, I'm sorry. You get pluses and minuses from putting her camera on her head. Minuses are you don't really know what it's pointing at. And yeah, so I was playing with some trapped air. I do think I took my camera off my head to actually point at this because I figured you're not going to be able to see that. Yeah, here we go. I took that off my head. Yeah, look at that. That's some trapped air underwater. It looks like mercury. You guys ever played with mercury? Trapped air underwater looks just... Oh, get some Yano sauce in there. Yeah, thumbs up. All right. Yeah, trapped air underwater looks just like mercury on the surface. It looks metallic. The only difference is it floats, but if it's like... You could think of mercury pinned to the floor the same as air bubbles pinned to the structure above you. It's... Oh, man, it just looks very similar to me. Very similar to me. Alright, time for a swim through. I'm tired of playing with the air. Oh, yeah, I'm checking out those fishies. Yeah, let's turn that light on. They ain't gonna care, right? Yeah, I tried to swim through here. I'm pretty sure I just kicked something. Maybe it wasn't this swim through, but it was one of them where I wouldn't call it a failure. I was almost through, and then I could feel my foot kick something. That's not what you want. Okay. I guess we're looking at a fireplace with an angelfish attached to it. Oh, my camera is pointed too far down. Gosh darn it. That's a beautiful fish. We just totally missed it. It is so green. It's so green here. I think this might be my most... most is the wrong word. I think this might be my only green ocean experience. And at this point, I don't know if that's the GoPro's fault or if that's Miami's fault. You know, I don't know. There's Paul Bunyan and the stump. I don't know. It's probably the GoPro's fault because the ocean doesn't change colors, you know? Yeah, it's most definitely probably, there's that hose hanging loose again, GoPro's fault. But this stump, man, like what tree was growing there and who chopped that sucker down? That's a clean cut, too. I'm playing. I know that thing was planted, but, you know, I don't know. You go back 10,000 years, probably 100 orders of magnitude more than that. Maybe that's where that tree used to grow. Yeah, not that dumb. I know it's not a real tree. It sure as hell looks like it, though. I was checking it out. I was checking out the tree stump. And, yeah, check my air. And did I lose my buddy? This might be it. I lost Matt a couple times. You know, all the times, 110% my fault. Oh, there he is. That's Matt. Nah, I lost him for real. This probably wasn't one of those times, but I lost him a couple of times. Almost to the point where it was like, I better go up to the surface and find this dude. But the visibility is pretty good down there. You can see it, yeah, I'd guess 40 feet, probably longer than that. I'm a terrible estimator. Like I tell people at work, man, the managers, if I could predict the future, I wouldn't be working here, you know? I cannot predict the future. Yeah, well, that's actually mostly irrelevant. I can't tell how long this visibility is either. 40 feet. Long story short, I'm guessing 40 feet. I have no idea why I brought up predicting the future. It has nothing to do with anything. But I'm not gonna review this commentary, so y'all just gonna have to live with it. Live with it. Yeah, this footage is boring. I'm trying to make it interesting. What are we doing? Oh, we're trying to go up. All right, yeah, we're at the end of the dive. Yeah, if you remember, we had like 20 minutes left 15 minutes ago, so I was telling Matt, it's time to go. Time to go. Get up. Exfil. We ain't going that quick. I thought we were done. I looked at my files. We got like 3 or 4 dives left. Or sorry, 3 or 4 files left on this first dive. Holy shit, I'm ready to be done with this. I'm kind of ready to be done with this. I might just upload the rest of the segments without even talking about them because I'm done. There ain't much to say here, you know. There ain't much exciting going on. Honestly, it's just like, here's a couple columns. Yeah. I mean, it's super exciting. We're underwater and diving, but to my friends who don't care about that kind of thing and aren't gonna watch this anyway. Oh, did I do a little upsy-doodle there? I think I did a little, man, I can't say that fast. Did a little, I bet Eminem would knock that out. That's just, man, I can't do it. But I think I did a little upside down, turn back around. Yeah. There's man. What's up, man? Well, yeah, I feel like we've been here before, you know. It's cool. Look at, I will say this: those fan coral. You see that fan coral we just passed up? Those things are incredible. They always orient themselves perpendicular to the wave motion. It's, you know, it's biology, science. It's life. That's life at work. That's life at work. I just told Matt, we got 5 minutes. It's time to get our asses out of the water, dog. There's a chain. So that chain, that's gonna be funny. That's gonna be funny in the next video because I'll tell you right now. I told him it's probably time for a safety stop. I think we're at like 15 minutes, Do I grab the chain in this video? Yes, I think I do. Here it goes. Because I was like, alright, I'm gonna grab this chain at 15 feet. And then Matt tried to upstage me, and he was like, dude, I don't need a fucking chain. And I was holding on to this chain like, this is the best thing to do, just hang on for a safety stop. And then the alpha male exploded in me, and I let go of the chain. Yeah, so I let go of the chain, and looking around, both me and Matt and I are looking around. You can see the surface there, and we're like, where did the chain go? You know? And we talk about this later when we got on the boat. He had no idea where the chain went. I had no idea where the chain went. There was a little current under there, so I guess it was strong enough to push us away from the chain, because right now we're just free flowing. This is like open ocean, baby. And that's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Oh, that's my computer screaming at me. There's something wrong with that. Basically, I was ascending too fast. The chain would have made it easier if we both grabbed on. We would have known the exact depth we were at and the exact exfil point, and then we just kind of pop at the surface. Yeah. Look at that. There it is. There's the chain. We lost it. We lost that thing. Here we are with the exfil. I got 2 video segments on this. I wish it would have been one. Maybe I could throw one of these out, but you can see what I'm doing here, so... You know, I got the GoPro strapped on my head, so, my eyeballs are underwater pretty much during this whole time, and I'm just pulling on the rope to get me back. It's so much easier than swimming. Swimming is hard. If they're gonna throw a rope to me, yeah, I'm definitely gonna pull on the rope. Who is that? I don't know who that is underwater. What was I checking on my watch? I have no idea what I was checking. I've been pulling myself closer to the boat. I found some seaweed. Yeah, exfil finale coming up. Here we are. Final segment on the first dive. Just trying to get back to the boat. It was kind of choppy. You can kind of see on the surface. It was kind of choppy. I think it got worse as the day went on. Yeah, I'm not a very good swimmer, so it took me a while to get back to the boat. I will say this. You'll see it in a second. This is the first dive trip / boat I've been on where you are supposed to climb up the ladder with your fins on. Honestly, I did not like that. They called it a certain kind of ladder, like open rungs. You'll see it here in a second. So basically, yeah, you can see how there's no sides to the ladder. So the whole idea was you grab onto this ladder, you climb with the ladder with your fins on, and you go to the next step by swinging your leg out, picking it up, and putting it on the next rung. I did not like that. I would have much rather grabbed the ladder, took my fins off, handed them to the person on the boat, and just come up that way. But this is the first time in my diving career, 85 plus dives, that I've ever climbed up a ladder this way. And it was kind of weird. You had to hang on tight with your hands, because if you effed up with your legs, you're going to fall back in the water. And that's exfil.